Hey, good Monday morning, guys. It's me, CP,
Me, David.
and hope you guys had a great weekend. I know with the Cardinals.
Yes. 21-13, except Warner got hurt.
Yeah, dude. Hey, Kurt, I hope you're feeling better. Rest up the head. That was a nasty spill that you took, so
Yeah.
chill out for the next week. I hope you're feeling better soon, because I know Kurt, he probably follows along with this as well, so. Hey, we're getting big, man. We're getting big.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope you guys had a great weekend. Wow, we got an action-packed week ahead of us. It's we are going non-stop Monday, Tuesday. I got a lot of stuff going on just on the stacks side of things, and then of course with Reshape, we're jamming on that. And then, then Wednesday, we get to jump on an airplane.
Yes. Going to Portland.
Yeah, tell them about it.
Well, since, you've spent many Thanksgivings and Christmas with my family.
Like the last 5 or so.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that I got invited out to Portland, Oregon to spend some Thanksgiving time with your family.
The Powell family is bringing David up to Portland, so
I should say Vancouver, though.
It's technically, it's actually Vancouver, Washington. It's a northern suburb of Portland. So, and we don't pay state income tax up there. So that's why we live there. And of course, in Portland, across the river, you don't pay sales tax. So for everyone who's trying to save a buck, think about Southwest Washington. It's a pretty decent place to live if you can handle the rain for 9 months out of the year. That's why I live in Arizona now, because I got dude, I just couldn't do it. No way. But yeah, so it'll be fun. So we're going there on Wednesday. Then Thursday, of course, we're flying out to New York.
To New York.
You guys better tune in Friday, because we're going to be doing the Today Show on Friday morning. So tune in. We'll give you guys a shout out. No promises. I'll do the best we can, because sometimes those producers, they definitely pull the strings on that stuff. They tell us what we can and what we can't do, but that'll be fun. And then flying back to Portland on Friday, right after the Today Show, and then flying back to Arizona on Saturday for the big show with this guy on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun times, fun times.
Yeah. Tune in Sunday night.
Yeah.
It's the sequel. I know we've talked about it a few times, but I really hope you guys enjoy it. It should be a lot of fun.
And I'll be on the Billy Bush radio show today at around 11 p.m. our time, which is Mountain, so
oh, that's right. Don't forget
10 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
So
good old Billy
just
Bush.
tune in, and I'll probably go over my awkward, crazy life. Spill some beans, maybe not.
All about the dating. All right, we'll steer away from that. Let's get into some questions. I know what you guys are really here for. Sorry to blab on and on about our personal lives, but
I know.
All right, so questions for the day.
All right, today's question, this is from Kim. She wants to know why Ezekiel bread instead of nice whole wheat or multi-grain bread.
Okay, and you know what, Kim, you bring up a really good question, and I'm not against a really good whole grain bread. Beware when we say whole wheat bread, because here's a wonderful little thing that these food marketing companies like to do. They will say, oh, it's whole wheat bread, and the bread is brown. However, at the same time, it's still just flour. It's not the whole grain bread, and that's actually why I really like the Ezekiel. What's my goal in this? It's really not to take flavor away from you or to make you eat food that some people think tastes like cardboard. And I hate to say that, because after a while, remember, once those taste buds change, you can really taste the flavor of the food, and it's hearty. It's really good quality. It's real food. It's real nutrients. I love the Ezekiel breads because they're so dense in nutrients, and at the same time, they're sprouted grains. They're real, living, whole grains. They literally mash them and bake them. I mean, that's about as close as it gets to eating the real grains. Of course, when I talk about the grain, what I'm looking to do is I want you guys eating breads that it takes your body a long time to break through those grains to get to the starch, the carbohydrate that's in there, which is going to make the blood sugar levels rise. So the more that of the bran, or essentially, if you look at a grain, there's the husk. It's like this layer of fiber that actually sits around the grain. Then inside the grain, of course, is what we call the endosperm, and that's the starch. That's just, it's a polysaccharide, it's many sugars, and once your body gets to that starch, it can break it down and blood sugar levels go up. But it has to make it through this layer of fiber, this layer of bran first, right? So the more bran that we have around it, and especially if we got that grain is actually sitting in the its little pocket of fiber, it takes your body a long time to get through that. And once it taps in, then it can slowly, pull the sugars out of it. So the closer I can get to the whole grain, the better. That's the only reason I want you doing that. So if you can actually find a really good, like 9, 12 grain bread, and it's real whole grain, that's fantastic. I always steer people toward Ezekiel because it's gotten really popular, and we can actually find it in most of the freezer sections of our grocery store. So I know a lot of you're thinking, well, Ezekiel bread, what is that, and where can I find it? Don't look in the regular bread section. Keep in mind also, why can we not put it in the bread section? Well, because it goes bad. It actually has to be stored in the freezer section of the grocery store. And why? Because even bacteria likes it. And keep in mind, like when we're talking about real good whole foods, everything's going to want to eat it, including bacteria. So that's actually why we have to freeze it and keep it in the freezer, or once you have it in the refrigerator, and then that's where you're going to always want to store your good whole grain breads, because it will go bad. I want you guys to start raising questions also about how these foods can sit on the shelf so long and not go bad. They're not going to get moldy. And so start asking some questions as to why they have such a long shelf life and what we have to put in them in order to keep that shelf life going. So really, if you can find a really good multi-grain bread and just making sure that the grain is staying intact, fantastic. But when they say a whole wheat bread, a lot of times they've already taken the bran off of it and they're just baking the flour. And okay, even though the bread is brown, it doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you. They've already taken all the bran out of it. Your body can actually, once those digestive juices get to it, it breaks it down fast, it pushes into the small intestine, your blood sugar levels are going to spike relatively fast off that stuff. So beware, we really want to avoid that. I want to actually give your body, a chance to really start working on that bran, that layer of bran on the outside, so it can get into the endosperm. So that's going to slowly spike those blood sugar levels. Just avoid the big spike.
All right.
So hopefully that helps out.
It sure did.
Yeah. Cool. And wow, yeah. I guess we're all out of time for the day.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well,
catch your breath.
Thank you. All right. Well, have a wonderful, wonderful Monday.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, by the way, also, when it comes to Ezekiel products, they've also got Ezekiel tortillas. They've got Ezekiel English muffins. They've got a whole line of them, and they're all really, really good for you. So
I like the raisin bread.
Now keep in mind, oh yeah, the raisin is tasty. The cinnamon raisin is so good.
Dominated some back in my day.
Oh yeah, yeah. The only thing, and I've actually, just for my own personal preference, I had to steer away from the Ezekiel bread simply because there is wheat in it, and I am gluten sensitive, as are you. So
just a little bit, though.
Yeah, it's really important that we start to pay attention to our bodies. Oh, by the way, this is something else. Ask questions about this stuff, about dairy sensitivity and wheat sensitivity. I know I've talked about it just a little bit before in the past, but really, really interesting, applicable stuff. In that many of us really are dairy or gluten sensitive, sometimes egg sensitive, sometimes soy, sometimes nuts. And it can really start to affect our digestion. So I started pulling away from the Ezekiel products, even though they really are good for you. I personally just can't have them because when I get that gluten in my gut, it causes inflammation and really messes up my digestion. So I can't absorb all the nutrients that I need. So anyway, I just wanted to stoke yet another flame there. But anyway, guys, have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
See you tomorrow?
No.
We'll see you tomorrow.